The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said, "I tell you most solemnly, anyone who does not enter the sheepfold through the gate, but gets in some other way, is a thief and a brigand. The one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the flock. The gatekeeper lets him in. The sheep hear his voice. One by one he calls his own sheep and leads them out. When he has brought out his flock, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow because they know his voice. They never follow a stranger, but run away from him. They do not recognize the voice of strangers." Jesus told them this parable, but they failed to understand what he meant by telling it to them. So Jesus spoke to them again, "I tell you most solemnly, I am the gate of the sheepfold. All others who have come are thieves and brigands, but the sheep took no notice of them. I am the gate. Anyone who enters through me will be saved. He will go freely in and out and be sure of finding pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come so that they may have life and have it to the full." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise be to God.
Today, the passage we have just read ends with one of the most beautiful statements that Christ has pronounced during his time on earth. He said, "I come to give you life and life to the full." This is, I consider it my favorite, and I consider it the best, most hopeful statement that we can receive from the risen Christ. That He came down to give us fullness of life. And what does it mean? Because this is very important. Because very often we tend to believe that to be a Christian means to live a half life. To be a Christian means that you have to follow a lot of don'ts. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And it ruins our way of living, which is not absolutely true. Christ has come to give us fullness of life. And that's why He is also called today the Good Shepherd. When we speak of the Good Shepherd, even the church today celebrates Vocation Sunday, because this is also a tradition of the church, that today we pray for priests, for vocations to the priesthood, and we should continue doing this, not only now, but all the year round. But the most important message we receive today is not only of praying for vocation, but it is for believing and understanding that we too are shepherds, that we are called for the fullness of life, and the fullness of life comes by following our shepherd Jesus, living like He lived here on earth, trying to do as much as possible in our human nature what is best and what He told us to do, and go forward following Jesus. So that we too are shepherds, because we need to live this great message of fullness of life that Christ has giving us, and live it. How do we live it? We should not be content only of not murdering anybody, or by just obeying the commandments. That is the minimum called for any disciples, for any Christian. We should risk with our life to go beyond the commandments. We should go more than this. We should be life in a community, with our talents, with our time, with our money, with our compassion, with our forgiveness, with our love, to give to others, to give first to the community where we live, and then to all the world where we are staying and where we are living. First our families, and then the rest of the people that we meet. We need to be witnesses. We need to be shepherds. What does it mean to be a shepherd in this world, in the Christian world? Meaning you show to others how we can lead the world. That is a great responsibility. Pope Francis is giving us a huge examples how to be shepherd by giving first his example of living in a simple way, not like we used to know before. He chose to live in a simple flat, and not he let alone his old medieval palace to be a museum, and he went to live in a community with others. And so he gave witness. Even his words, even his examples show us how we can be leaders, shepherds, witnesses of the message, the gospel message that we all have received. And this we can do it in our simple way of living every day. God does not ask us to work miracles or to go missionaries in Africa where they never heard maybe of Jesus Christ. This is not our call. But we can help those who are doing that work. We can be close to those who are doing that work. And so we also can do a lot of work from here by doing the simple way of living our responsibility as Christians and leading others to know and to see in us how Christ lives. This is the great responsibility that we have. We need to show others, yes, we believe in a Christ that has given me the fullness of life when I was baptized a Christian. And this is not easy, because sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult to forgive. It's difficult to be compassionate with others. It's difficult to be sensitive to the needs of others sometimes, because we tend to live our own way of living, comfortable way, and we do not care much for others. This is wrong. As Christians, we have to train ourselves to a different attitude in this way, in this day and age we are living, where maybe there is a lot of selfishness going on around us. We should not be discouraged by the way people live, others live. We need to be unique, so to say, even in the midst of this world that we call very selfish. We need to be, yes, different from others, if we want to say that, without judging anybody, but we need to take up our responsibility as Christians, be shepherds, be leaders in the good way of living this life to the full. Knowing that Christ has lived it before us, knowing that He is with us when we are doing it, and knowing that this is the true discipleship that we want to live. Let's read together now the prayer that we have on the screens. O God, I need you to guard the gate of my humanity from the marauders of my own making. I need you to protect me from the deadly enemies of pride, prejudice, anger, anguish, and greed that I carry inside my secret self. Alone I am helpless and fall prey to my failings. With you as the gateway to my truest self, I can do all things. So shepherd me, God, beyond my wants, beyond my fears, from death into life.